This is a production of KMmedia.pro. Welcome back to Positive Talk Radio. Our goal is simple: to explore evolving ideas one conversation at a time. So come on over into our world. I know you'll like it, because on today's show, today we get to feature a couple of really outstanding folks that are going to be with us for the entire hour. It's kind of a family affair, really, and two of them are very talented singers, songwriters, and one is their mom, who's also a singer, or she's a songwriter, an author. She's written several books. She does shows. She's a advocate for disabled people. She's got it all going on. Her name, and first of all, I got to talk to Eric. And we've got to Eric. Eric, alert on my computer. It says, "Oh no, we're going to have a heat disaster this weekend."
I don't know about disaster. It looks like it's warmed up here, and today we're going to be about 79, and then the next couple days in the 80s. So a little bit of a change of pace from the last several weeks, but I don't think it's anything that we can't handle. Of course, that being said, you do want to give yourself plenty of air circulation and keep hydrated, and if you are not in a cool place already with your housing environment, there are, cool places around the area that you can visit to keep cool.
And please, this is my public service announcement. Please do not leave your pet and or kids unattended in a car when it gets to be that hot, because the temperature rises amazingly fast and can do damage really quickly. Don't you think?
Very important.
Yeah, so please leave your dog home if you're going to leave him in the car for any length of time. He's much better panting in his house than he is you're risking his life in his car. So please do that. And Eric, thank you. We've got a great show for you today. It's a musical show.
I love music, so
I know.
Can't wait.
You are really good. One of these days, I've got to have Eric as the guest to talk about his band and what he does. But sadly, that's not going to be today, because we've got.
That's all.
And I'm not sure that you would do it anyway.
I would, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, very good. I want to introduce Mary Elizabeth Jackson. She is mother of the Jackson 2. And she and her kids, she's got sisters Jay. We're going to be talking to them in the second half hour. But I finally get you to myself.
I know. We are telling Elizabeth, we've been talking about this for like a year now almost.
Yes, and we've had Mr. Thornton on, and your co-writer and the girls and stuff, but you do so much that I thought that it would be appropriate for us to talk to you about your work and your passion and what you're doing. So besides, it's Mother's Day weekend.
I know. And I've already got the first of my little Mother's Day gifts. When I picked my son up from school today, they had made painted a little pot and then put some flowers in it. And so very sweet. I'll save it forever.
Oh, yes. And he's a talented young man himself.
He's working on it. This last year in November, he got paid actually as an actor in a play. And with professional actors, which is really cool. It's based on a true story. He's learning drums and a couple other instruments, and I don't know, we'll see what happens with him.
How old is he? 11 or something?
No, he'll be 10 on Monday, actually.
Oh, wow. And he's 10 years old and he got paid as an actor. Do you have any idea how rare that is? Well,
I know. So cool, right? And it was just a stipend, so it wasn't anything major, but the fact that, he can say that on a resume, and, he's going to be doing the theater that he did this with. We've been with this theater for like 10 years. The girls do the summer camp. And this year Elizabeth will be the director of the camp. And then Lily will be She's still kind of considered an intern because she's in college, but she'll be directing choreographing. I don't know what she'll be doing. They'll both probably be in it. They've been, working with this theater for 10 years. So it's been amazing training. They got a lot of their vocal training through this theater and growing up. And so then Carson will be this will be his fourth show, I think, with this theater. And so it's really great for kids. I mean, he's on the autism spectrum, and I don't care what a child has going on. Theater is fantastic for children, even if they never do anything with it, because it helps them to, try to come out of their shell. Elizabeth was painfully shy as a child growing up. So it was really good for her to be able to step out on stage and be able to learn how to talk in front of people. It's great core building skills for going into the corporate world, or going out for a job. If you got to interview for jobs, and interview employees, and give a speech. I mean, it's great for so many different things.
I am convinced, and I've said it before on the show, and I'll say it again here, that every child should go through improvisational drama.
Yes, absolutely. At least just once.
Yes, because in our world, things are moving so fast that it was really helpful to be able to think on your feet, to be able to do improvisation and put it all together. It really, if you're going to be a salesperson, if you're going to be a speaker, if you're going to be a teacher, if you're going to be anything like that, you're going to speak to people. This is very helpful. So
Oh,
I,
absolutely.
I applaud you for doing that and being part of the theater crew for so long, because the girls have done really well through it.
I mean, it's been amazing what it's done for both of them. The confidence it's given them, the ability to be very professional in just about anything they approach. Because, like you said, it gives you that fast on your feet thinking skills. Sometimes having to do things at the last minute. That's what I remember for myself. That's what I remember growing up as a dancer, because I worked at Disney World. That was one of my first jobs. And we would have routines that would change, or we would either have to change them, or you'd learn something new right at the last minute. Dance competition was like that. And so the skill that you get from that, you don't even realize what you're learning. It's amazing.
So you worked at the happiest place on earth?
I guess that depends on the person and the day, but yes, I mean, there's a lot, but yes, I did. I grew up in Orlando, and so we could see the fireworks from our house from where we lived, because we
Oh, wow.
lived, there's all those orange groves, a lot of them don't exist anymore because they've done so much building. But yeah, so when I was 16, there was a group of us from that were on dance corps in high school, and we all went to audition, and it was I was kind of like, oh yeah, I'll go, thing. And my mom was out of town that weekend, and went, and then I made the callbacks, and I was like, oh, this is kind of serious. And then I was hired, and so I was working there when I was 16. It was at night. It was in the electric light parade. So it made for some very late nights for school. So it didn't last, that part of my job at Disney didn't last for a super long time, just because I had to switch and make sure I was working days because of school, So in the summertime, then I think it was the Donald Duck 25th anniversary or something. So there was that whole thing going on. And it was one of the funnest jobs I've ever had. But I have worked at several theme parks in the Orlando and outlying area. And one of them is where I met my husband. And I worked in Rosie O'Grady's. If anyone's ever been to Orlando, it was right off I-4 downtown. And that was 6 years of my life, going into when I got married. And it was some of the funnest times that I've ever had, great memories. And learning a lot of skills there. You really don't realize the skill sets that you pick up to the jobs that you have, but they're very important. But for my girls with the theater, and then having competitions in their life and performances, and going to, district, state, national competitions with school, They work, if you talk to Ted, their music producer, he'll tell you how hard they work and how, well they accommodate, because they have an understanding of let's get in and get this done kind of thing.
I got to drop his name because Ted Perlman is a world famous producer.
Yes.
He's worked with people like Whitney Houston, and I mean the list is really long. I can't remember them all today,
Yes.
but lots of really talented people. And he will sit here and he will tell you that Sisters J is as talented as anybody he's ever worked with.
Oh, he's very sweet. He's going to be performing with the girls tomorrow. They're going to be, if the rain holds off, because we've got tons of rain here. So if the rain holds off tomorrow, it's called a Salt Fest here in town, and they're raising money for a place that houses abused women and their families. And so the girls will be singing, and Ted, when they perform now, Ted goes with them. He's like, they can't go anywhere without me. So we're like, okay. So it's the three of them. It's fun. They're having a good time. So they've got that tomorrow, and then the following Saturday we're going to be making the video for the new song that I sent you. So the song is done. We're super, super excited about this song because my mic is muted. Sorry. So Elizabeth, this new song called Breathe In, it's about breathing in and remembering who you are. She wrote when she was 16, and it was about, she saw that people were having anxiety. She was feeling anxiety. And so she felt like this hand was on her shoulder, and it was like God just saying, just breathe in, just calm down and relax, and just remember who you are, remember who I made you to be. And so that's basically the premise of the song. And so we're going to be shooting the video next weekend, and super excited about it. We're going to be bringing in some of the kids that my son, some of his friends and the kids he goes to school with. Some of them have Down syndrome, some are on the spectrum. We got typical kids, and it's all about remembering, who you are, how amazing you are. So
I got to tell you, I don't know how you have enough time to do everything that you do, because you are a very, very busy person with three kids. Now, the girls are old enough to take care of themselves, obviously, but you still have one at home, and you've got a husband, and you've got a dog, and you're an author, and you do radio shows, and you do television shows, and you do videos, and you do a podcast. Oh, what's the name of your podcast, by the way?
Oh, it's called Cover to Cover. Yeah.
And you talk to authors.
Yeah, actually, authors and everything in the writing world. I actually interviewed, these interviews aren't live yet, but I interviewed two publishers the other day. So I like to give, like I did a dynamic duo female team, and then a gentleman who worked for Thomas Nelson for 20 something years, and he has his own publishing company now here where I live. And so I really like to kind of cover all that, and inspirational stories. There's another gentleman I interviewed this week who he came from India. He traveled all the way from India, had $100 in his pocket.
Hope you muted yourself again.
Okay, like I told you, I'm on my daughter's laptop.
That's okay. That's
Um,
okay.
but he came all the way from India, and his book is called Never Ever Never Ever Ever Give Up. So I love the title period, right?
Right.
And you need to have this guy on your show. He's so amazing. And he is the president, CEO of like Bancorp Bank. And, it's worth $12 billion, So his thing is he wants to reach 500,000 to 1 million kids this year, teaching them about positivity and empowerment and financial empowerment. So I'm like, I support you 100%. So
I do too. That sounds like a wonderful. I need to have him on the show. We'll talk about that after
yeah,
the show.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and you do all of these things, and including one of the things that you're an advocate. Tell us about your advocacy.
My passion, one of them for sure. So I've been an advocate. I always say since when we get pregnant, we become advocates, but I've been an advocate for 20 something years. And it started with Lily, who you'll get to meet because she was nonverbal. And so that journey began when she was about 2.5. And I didn't know anything about anything, right? At that point, I had raised kids, been around kids, had a daycare nanny, all that stuff, but I didn't know anything about that world, so I had to learn. And then she went through a very traumatic experience at the age of 5 in school, and that changed my journey again. Now, at that point, what happened was I started a journey of going to speak at Capitol Hill in Nashville, Tennessee, with senators and state lawmakers, and like, you've got to do something about this. You have to change, you know. So, working on law for many years. Now, I'm an ambassador advocate for a nonprofit called Autism Tennessee. And they had a fundraising benefit dinner that my husband and I were at last night. So I do a lot of community work for them. Like April 22nd, I arranged and had about 10 different disability organizations at our library for the community to come in, for families to come in and see what services are available to them, because a lot of families don't realize everything that's available for them. And it can be a really lonely road. So I've worked on things like creating a sensory room in our library, making the library more sensory friendly, and helping other libraries do that. I think it's very important. Our library used to be the center of the community, right? Literacy is 100% important in everyone's life. And even if you're a child who is nonverbal or disabled in some way or challenged, and I don't like to use the word disabled, I usually use the word challenged, because all of us have challenges, right?
Yep.
But making it applicable for every family to come in, I just think is really, really an important thing. So we've done a lot of events with the library. The girls sang. We had some other live musicians come in that day at the library. We got another event coming up June 9th. So I just, because, and then my son is on the spectrum. He's autistic, and this is something that I live, eat, and breathe every day of my life. And I've had to learn how to advocate, and hopefully how to be an effective advocate, because your child sometimes can't do anything for themselves. And so it's your responsibility, and they look to you. You've got to be their voice and help empower them. If they have a challenge, whatever that diagnosis is, then you need to research everything you can so you can empower your child to be the best they can be. So then it takes everybody from a place of feeling like a victim to victory, to success. And some of that's based on what I've seen my kids overcome in their own lives. I mean, to have children who cannot talk, or are Lily.
Oh, you're good. You muted yourself again.
Every time
It's
the screen goes off, I mute myself. Okay.
it's that darn computer.
Yes, this darn computer. But Lily, it's like we had to teach her how to speak English. Like, the language she spoke was not English. It was not intelligible language at that time. To her, it was. But when you have a child who is babbling or cluttering or making noises, it's so frustrating for them because they can't communicate with you, even though behavior is communication. So I had to learn to give her creative ways to be able to communicate, and I've done it with all 3 of my children. I think this is why Elizabeth's been able to write prolific songs, because writing and journaling was one of her tools I gave her. She had a really hard time expressing herself and talking because she was very shy. Like, write it, So with my kids, it was like, write it out, dance it out, sing it out, run it out, play an instrument, but find a healthy channel for you that's legal. I always say legal, right? You're not going to get arrested or in trouble or injure yourself,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
I got to tell you, if you are getting an opportunity to watch this show, in the second half, Lily's going to be here, and if you would have said to me that she was inaudible when she was a child, I wouldn't have believed you,
I know.
because she is so talented and
Mm.
she is so articulate, and Elizabeth the same way. They are. You done good, Mom.
Well, thank you. That's what Sunday is about, right? Or, well, let's say
Exactly.
all weekend. Woohoo!
Well, I think you should make it an all weekend thing because it's
I
really
think I should make it the rest of the year.
exactly. Well, you can leave a day in there for Father's Day, so Dad gets a little bit of his
I
due.
know, I know. My sweet husband, I know. Bless his heart. It's you never know when you're having children, you don't know what's going to happen, and
No,
we've
no.
we've been through some stuff in our lives, and we're here on this side of it. And I would say to you, if you have a child who has trouble expressing themselves, and it's I get to talk about this stuff a lot, which I love talking about. And I just did a talk for the US Nanny Conference. It'll go live in September. And I was talking about raising kids who are highly sensitive, intuitive, and empathic, because they all kind of mesh together. These kiddos do. And we can't raise them the way that we've always raised them. It doesn't work. Behavior is communication with a child. So when a child is melting down, and there's that person that says, "Oh my gosh, they can't control their child, bad parenting, blah blah blah." Most of the time, it's do that, that detective work. Does my child need to eat? Does my child need a nap? Have I drugged them around all over the place? Is it hot? Are they uncomfortable? That process of elimination, to be able to get to them into a better mental health space, and teach them how to be able to advocate for themselves. Mom, I'm tired right now, or I need some food, or, I just feel really uncomfortable here, what we're
Hmm.
doing. So, that's our job, right?
Well, I'll tell you, my granddaughter's on the spectrum,
Mm,
and my son sent me a little film of her. They bought her a piano. She's 5,
perfect. Perfect.
and she was sitting there quietly, which is very unusual for her, and she was sitting there plunking out a tune on the piano, and she was being very patient with herself. So you don't know what it's going to be that's going to turn on that kid and make everything work for them. So just try everything.
Yes. Yeah. I've seen a child with Tourette's. When they started singing, all those symptoms disappeared, and it was like watching magic,
Yeah.
literally watching magic. And I've seen, you know, my son was out of sorts a month or so ago, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, let's just go." We have a little area down the road from us. It's a little beach area, and there's like a trail through the woods and stuff. And I said, "Let's just go check out the." No, I don't want to. Rah, rah, rah. He was all fussy. And I went anyways. And I said, because I knew what he needed. I knew he needed to decompress, and he needed some fresh air. And it was after school. And he needed to, nature vibrates at the same vibration that we are. So that's why when we go out and we're in nature, you're at the beach or you're the mountains or whatever it is, and you go, oh, I feel so much better now, right?
Right.
So we went and we did a little hiking, and we picked up some shells and threw some rocks in the lake. And then he was like, "Oh, mommy, I feel so much better." I said, "I know."
That's why you get the title of mommy.
I'm like, "I know, buddy. That's why I brought you out here kicking and screaming with me. You're my
I
friend now."
Now, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about your books, the children's books you've
Oh,
written, and also the last book, which just as a synopsis is 5 kids that are mean to a sixth kid. The sixth kid passes away, and the 5 kids feel terrible. Then they go to, I'm not going to tell the whole thing, but they go to the uh, the child who has passed away's house and confess to the parents. And then there's this chest, and then the adventure goes from there. And that is a really cool synopsis. How did you come up with that?
thank you so much. I appreciate that. And actually, I don't know when we've talked last, but I got a new publisher at Christmas time. Thornton and I did, because our publisher passed away last year in June. So we got a new publisher at Christmas. The books are in revamping right now. We're doing a new cover and everything. I'm so excited about it. But Thornton and I started writing that story in 2018. Believe it or not, it goes all the way back to then. And part of that's based on a true story in his life. There was a child when he was in elementary school that passed away. And so we began, it's like that process of creativity, of creative, just those ideas and thoughts. And so at that point, I was as passionate then as I am now, is about writing empowering things for kids that teach, that educate. So I said, okay, we need this in the story. You know, there's bullying still going on, and how can we take it and make it and talk about lots of different things. Let's talk about, and we considered leaving out the whole death thing, because that's a pretty um that's a hard conversation to have with a child if they've not been faced and known anybody. You know, a lot of kids have gone through it now through the pandemic, but you know, let's talk about, instead of this just being a bullying story, let's talk about these kids really being remorseful and looking for forgiveness and learning how to forgive themselves and taking ownership of their behavior. Let's write a story that way, you know, and that's kind of where we went with it.
I think it's wonderful what you're doing. And by the way, you've got 4 other books that I cannot pronounce part of the title. Uh,
Okay, is it Foolicious? Oh,
um,
is it that one or is it the
Perfectly Precious Pooh. Is it
Foolicious?
Poolicious?
Foolicious. Yeah, that's my 3 books for the littles, for little kids.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's
And
my little guy on the cover.
oh, it is cool.
Yeah.
And you can go to Amazon and pick up all of these books. And
Yeah, the books are still for sale. They're just getting revamped, but there's still copies for sale there. You know, and somebody could always contact me if they wanted to. I have copies at home. But those were inspired, well, I say God, but then my son and the way he came into this world. It was a pretty tough situation. And as I was nursing him, he was about 5 months old, and I survived his birth and he survived the birth. And I was in this state of just, God, thank you so much. And the story came and I was like, whoa, where did that come from? You know, because I had at that time, most of my life, I've written poetry. Um, and so that story came, and then I sat on it for about 2 years because I was like, I'll save it for my children, you know? At that time, I was like, I'm just a mom who wants to read what I write. And, I felt like somebody was just doing this on my shoulder, you know, "You gotta do something with this. You have to do something with this." And so I went to someone, and then they introduced me to Thornton, and we connected immediately, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I really love this." I showed him everything I had written at that time, and, he said, "I really love this manuscript. Can I write 10 songs for it?" And so he did, and then it was absolutely just all magical how it happened, and we got a contract pretty quickly, and then about 3 months after the book came out, we got a Gold Maxi Literary Award for the book, which was very amazing.
congratulations. I could talk to you for hours and hours and hours. And do you know 30 minutes has gone by already?
I know, I just, my phone just came on, and I was like, "Oh, okay, it's already 5:30."
Exactly. So I'm going to do something that I don't normally do, and
Okay.
I'm going to tell Eric to dispense with the commercials for this hour because I want to bring Elizabeth and Lily in, and but instead of the commercials, can we play my favorite song in the whole world?
Absolutely, yeah, and did you get a chance to listen to the new one I sent you? Because that's not even out yet, like, this will be, like, the first time, you know?
I know this is a world premiere that
I know, right?
we're gonna save that for the end of the show, but one of my
Open win.
how did you know it was that one?
Because I know, because 'cause you've told me before. I know you love that book, and listen, we're still working on that and trying to get, you know, the song into, a film or a commercial and get those idea of the boxes created, so
And the name of the song is Open Win, and it is by Sisters J. And the premise of the song is that her boyfriend is going off to college, and she was feeling badly. He was feeling lonely, and so her and her sister put together a box full of envelopes with sayings in them and with heartfelt things that she wanted him to know. And so when he was feeling down in another town far away, that he could open up one of those and get just a sniff, just a little bit of home, and it would brighten his day, brighten his spirits. And I'm convinced that that is a big deal. That needs to be a big deal. We all should do that for each other.
I think so too. I love it. And I just, you know, she and Thornton and I sat down and we wrote that song like actually 2 summers ago in July. And I remember I was driving in the van. Okay, she's as ready as it'll ever be. Okay, I'm gonna tell her to get on. You can get on. Okay. And I remember driving in the van, I was thinking about what can we call this song? I was like, open win. That's what it's about. It's about open win letters. So let's just call it open win. So
And by the way, Mary Elizabeth Jackson has been our guest. Go to maryjackson.com, maryejackson.com.
yes.
And you can find out all about her, buy her books, and you're just doing remarkable work, and I want to thank you. Are you going to hang out, or are you going to turn it
Yeah,
over to the girls?
absolutely. I can hang out with my girls. I love my girls.
Well, of course you do. So Eric, we're going to go ahead and play Open Win. Oh, before I do that, I got to do this because I promised her I would. It is now in the West Coast. It is 3:33 in the afternoon. If you don't have flowers for your mother yet, you're running out of time. So go to anaturaldesign.com. You can go to their website. You can buy some flowers. If you live in the Kirkland, Bothell, northern east side area, they'll have them delivered for you, and you can make it on Sunday. Everybody else is going to be really busy. So, and you get 20% off. So just go Positive Talk Radio, PTR, all caps, 20, and that'll get you 20% off your order. So if you ain't done it yet, fellas and gals, go do it now. anaturaldesign.com.
I have my little pot with my 2 little plants sticking up. So
perfect. This is and Eric, this is Sisters J, and the name of the song is Open Win.
Open when you forget where you belong. Open when you wanna feel closer to me. Make no mistake, we can't fool ourselves. Nothing we can do about the distance. The miles between us, a part of me is missing. A road you a letter for every day we've been together. Open each one when you think of me. And the love between us. Open when you need a new song. Open when you forget where you belong. Open when you wanna feel closer to me. Words you might need written from my heart, sealed with my kiss while we're apart. Learn to open when. Never said love would be easy. I'm sending you a part of me to make you smile, to feel my love constantly. When we're finally in each other's arms, we'll pick up where we both left off, as if time and space were never lost, and our loves always existed. Always with you. Open when you need a new song. Open when you forget where you belong. Open when you wanna feel closer to me. Words you might need written from my heart, sealed with my kiss while we're apart. Learn to open when. Open when. never said love would be easy. I'm sending you a part of me.
And that is Sisters J. You know,
Mm.
that's just not fair to be so young and so talented. And I know Elizabeth wrote that song again when she was like 16 or 17.
Well, actually, that song she wrote, she and Thornton and I wrote 2 years ago. And then clearly their second song she wrote when she was 16, and Breathe In, the new one, she wrote that one also when she was 16.
And just so everybody knows, Open Win has been viewed and downloaded on Positive Talk Radio well over 20,000 times.
I know. It's so exciting.
So it's really, and you know, you can't hide good work, and they're talented. They're very down to earth. Well, and shall we talk to, shall we talk to them?
Yeah, let's talk to them, not about them.
Exactly, because they're both standing right there, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, are she said they're waiting. Or do you have them there?
Oh, wait.
Oh, here they are.
There they are.
Yay.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, ladies. Would you like to wish your mother a happy Mother's Day?
Yes, happy Mother's Day.
I love y'all. I was sitting here just goosebumps listening to y'all's song, and it seems like it's so funny because compared to the new one, you know, the new one's so fast.
Yeah.
Compared to Open Win, it's just, I was like, oh, this is so relaxing.
Do you know that when you said that to your mother, the Happy Mother's Day, you harmonized just by accident?
We do
Oh
that.
no, it's a curse.
It happens.
It does. You guys, I love your work so much. I'm glad. Congratulations on the third song.
Thank
I
you.
think it's going to do really well. Now the second song did really well too, didn't it?
Mhm. Yes, it
What's
was
it-
very exciting to just see something that we created just kind of blowing up and people really enjoying it. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Well, and Thornton, or excuse me, not Thornton, but Ted Perlman will just gush over your potential and what's going to happen with you guys. So thank you for being here. And in talking with your mom, and you're a little older now, so did you ever kind of get the idea of how talented she is in her own right, doing all the things she does?
Oh, she blows us away every day with everything that she does.
Okay, now you're gonna make me cry.
Oh, that's okay. We'll get you a tissue.
Yeah, I'll just grab one from the room and run over to where she is.
Okay, I know.
So you guys are in the same house, just different devices.
Yes.
Mhm.
Like mom's just right around the corner right now.
Yes.
And Elizabeth, are you still teaching?
I finished up teaching. Sadly, it was very bittersweet. My friend who I was teaching on her maternity leave, it was for middle school choir, and we had a shared concert where we both conducted half of it. So it was really cool to kind of get to share that moment with her. So.
Oh, that's congratulations. And you know, Lily, I said during the show, and you are so talented, and I would not have believed that when you were 2 years old that you had problems with speech.
Yeah, I get that. Sometimes feel like, wait a minute.
Now she doesn't stop talking.
I'm just kidding. I love you. I'm making up for lost time. Yeah.
Well, that's really good. That's really cool. Now you've gotten this song. What are you going to do with the song that just came out? That's not out yet. That we're going to play.
We're making our music video on the 20th, which is going to be very, very fun. It's going to have more than just us two in it.
We're trying to spread the message with everyone, as many people as we can, because the message is universal and can mean the same thing for everybody, but then also it's individualized. And that's the whole point of the song.
And the message is
to breathe in and remember who you are no matter what's going on in life. To just breathe. And just because when things get crazy and super, super fast, we get really stressed, we forget things and things can be really tough. But if we just breathe, it helps our mind calm down. And I have to remind myself to just like take a second, step back, remember who you are, what's going on. Because every time I've gotten lost in life, when I come back to my roots with my family, my friends, my inner values, I feel more settled into my foundation.
Mary, how did they get so smart? That's what I'm saying.
Well, there was a lot of, hanging up by the tree out front, upside down. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. No.
Yes, this is our past punishments that brought us. I'm just kidding.
No, I don't know. I mean, I'm very lucky. I'm so grateful every day. I thank God so much. And I'm just so proud of both of them. I can't even tell you how proud I am. Okay, now I'm gonna start crying again. I know we had to breathe earlier today. Elizabeth and I both were like, it's one of those days. And I was like, we need to do what the song says. We got to breathe and, just
Let me know.
relax. Yeah, we have to just, especially
It's been
mom.
raining all day.
I know it's been raining all day and mom's been running all day. It's just been one of those days, but I'm just so proud of them. And I prayed a lot raising them. God, I needed help, God send me tools, God send me help, because not every parent's faced with children with challenges. All kids are challenging to raise, right? I mean, most kids have, it's work as a parent to raise kids, and then you want them to turn out to be humans that give back to the world instead of taking from it, and I just think that it took a lot of combinations of things with them, like the outlets, they had to have, we're creative beings, we're intended to be creative. So you got to give your kids creative outlets, whatever it is. I don't care if it's building Legos, or digging in the dirt or baking, whatever it is for a child. Make a chalkboard wall in your house and let them go to that. What Lily went through in her life. So we talked about earlier that writing was a real channel for Elizabeth, and art was as well. Music is something I love watching her play her instruments, because she becomes the music when she sings, when she plays her clarinet. It's very powerful. Lily, art was her saving grace for the trauma she went through as a child. She kind of drew her way through her life and it helped her process. And so those are safe havens for my children. They're safe there. Music doesn't judge. Paper doesn't judge. And so a child needs that.
Oh yeah. Elizabeth, I am just stunned that you can sing and play the clarinet at the same time.
It's
Wow, I didn't know you could do that.
I can. You can hum and play at the same time. You can look it up. Anyway.
That's
Very funny.
now that's talent right there.
It's not easy. I struggle.
Yeah, we put her out on the corner. I'm like, we got to pay the bills. Get out there on the street, kid.
Hey, congratulations, though. So that is way cool. And where do you guys? Last time we talked, I referenced that you remind me of a couple of sisters that are from this neighborhood, and that would be the Hart sisters. And I think that your talent is every bit as good as theirs. And if you listen to Ted Perlman talk, he's not going to let you out of his sight. He's funny.
No, we've already learned that.
Last time he was on the show, he was like, nope, they want to do this and they want to do, nope, they're going to sing, dang it. And that's going to be their thing. And they want to go act and they want to go do this. And which you guys are both very talented in a lot of different ways. So congratulations. And you're young and you're smart and you're talented. It's not fair. I'm telling you.
You're very kind.
It's a lot of years of investing. There's a lot of things the girls had to give up. It was their choice a lot of times, because they had to rehearse or practice or something. I mean, you don't want to lose all your childhood to that, but there are people who think some of this stuff. Now you do have your brilliant geniuses. They, look at an instrument and they know how to play it from the age of 3 on. But most people have to put a lot of hard work into it. And I'm here to say I've watched years and years and years of hard work on both their parts, to get to the level of ability that they have. It takes a lot of years of pruning that. And so I'm super proud of them. It's not only been therapeutic for them in their lives, but it's also been, it's turned into this. So it's kind of cool how that's happened.
Indeed, indeed. And I want you guys to go, and gals that are listening to this, go to sistersj.com. And what I want you to do, I'm checking to make sure, yes, that you have songs available on your website, yes?
Yes.
Go there. Please, this is my public service announcement. Please go there. Do not stream the music. Buy it, please, because these talented people need to be able to continue to produce music, and you can't do it if it's streamed, because I knew a guy that he had 500,000 streams on Spotify, and they sent him a check for like $60. It's like,
I know.
it just doesn't work. So go to sistersj.com and buy the music, please. And what's next? You've got a song that's just brand new out. You're doing the video for it. Then what are you going to do to back that up? When are you coming out here? When are you going to do a national tour? I'm waiting.
That
That's
would
a
be
really
very
good
cool
question.
if we did that in the future.
It would be.
We have to go to Kevin first.
Yes, you have to come out to Seattle.
Absolutely. That'll be our first stop. Kevin!
We're coming.
We'll take you to Fremont, which is where some of the grunge movement began.
Oh, cool.
Absolutely perfect. Yep.
Awesome. Ted will be with us, so
Of course, he was there. He predates that. Just pack him in your luggage. He'll be fine.
Actually, he actually would be. I think we just give him a couple snacks and cookies. He'll be okay.
Indeed, and absolutely. So tell us about the song that we're going to play at the end, that we're going to take out at the end of the show, is the new song, and that by the way, that was a hint to Eric that he didn't know that until just this moment, that we're going to take that out in the last 4 minutes of the show, and so that people can listen to it kind of in its entirety. But you did that when you were 16. How did you? No.
Yeah.
Is that right?
She did. I'm sorry. I'm just like, yes, it just still amazes me. But yes.
And you wrote the song and the lyrics both?
Mm-hmm. The way that you will hear it now is different from the way that it was originally written, just because I wrote it on guitar, and we've taken it and put a bunch of stuff in. Ted has come up with a bunch of it, but it has the original melody lines and original meaning in it. So we've just added to it. But I remember writing it at 16, and this one helped me. I couldn't do it without her. And I remember being actually downstairs in this house, having this just kind of download of information, because I wanted to write a lullaby, which is not a lullaby, but that was the original intention. To write a song to give peace to people with anxiety, people like myself and my family members and friends, to just breathe and remember who you are. And the words just kind of came to me, and as I've played it throughout the years, as we have performed it, it has meant different things to me. Like, remembering back on these moments, I remember sitting in this room, like literally like 2 feet from where I'm sitting, figuring it out with her, and then being like, oh my God, this is perfect. Well, it's not perfect, but you know what I mean? I really like this. Because the words are, lay your head down beside, forget all your worries. And the words, to me, this is my interpretation, is like God speaking to me, being like, hey, it's okay. Just come and lay at my feet. Everything will be okay. Just focus on me and remember who you are, and just breathe. And then in the second verse, you'll hear, that's what you told me. You said you love me, and I can't make sense of it at all. And in my brain, that's like me saying, I don't fully understand why you love me, God, but I'm still going to breathe. And that's just my interpretation of it from over the years, and it gives me chills just thinking about it, because I think that's such a powerful message. It doesn't have to be interpreted that way, because it has such a universal message to begin with, because just breathing, remembering who you are, doesn't necessarily have to mean the same thing to me as it does to other people, but it's still such a powerful message in I mean, in my mind, that I want to share it with other people, because we can go through life and just start running and forget to actually breathe. And so that's the whole idea.
Well, I will tell you that in my world, when you get a download like that and you have goosebumps because of it, that's truth.
Mm. Amen. Amen.
And that is and thank you for being attentive to it and to listen to it, because that is a message that can impact a great deal of people around the world.
Well, that's what we hope. We really do hope that we really do hope this will bring, it'll be very successful everywhere.
It's one of those things. It's like, the gospel according to Paul McCartney, don't you?
Mhm.
Just let it be.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that song came to him in a dream, right?
Yep.
That's why.
But yep, and his mother came to him, who had
Right.
passed on,
That's
and
right.
and his mother's name was Mary.
Wow.
And stuff. So, but I got to tell you, I need a longer show. That's all there is to it. Because you guys, I could talk to you guys for hours. I really, really love your work. I love who you are as people, as human beings. That you're working to do some remarkable things. And at 3 or whatever, 22, something like that.
Almost 23. I'll be 23 in 2 months.
Don't like that.
And Lily's the baby. No, she's the middle child, but you're the younger.
I used to be. Then my brother existed.
And
I love him.
and I just want to say thank you for the two of you. Mary, thank you for all that you do. Go to maryejackson.com. Go to sistersj.com. And by the way, making music is expensive. If you, Mr. Gates, are hanging around listening to KIXI today, I'd love for you to write them a check.
Oh, God, please.
Oh my goodness.
Please.
That is very kind of you.
Oh my
Thank
gosh,
you.
really?
Thank you for all that you do too. We could talk to you for hours.
Well, thank you. You guys make it so much fun for me to do this show. And this is my relaxation. This is how I breathe. Is by doing this show and talking to great people who uplift my spirit. And you guys uplift me to a great degree, and I really appreciate you.
Oh, we love you, Kevin. So we're going to surprise you when you come out there. So you just won't. We're going to come.
Yeah.
We'll do a private show.
That'll be so much fun. So we've been talking with Lily and Elizabeth Jackson. They are sisters Jay and Mary Elizabeth Jackson. She is she's a writer. She does all kinds of stuff. Go to her website. And thank you guys for being here. Now the song is called
Breathe in.
Breathe In. And Eric, we'll just take this out, the show out with this. And by the way, everybody, be kind to one another, because each other's all we've got.
Lay your head down beside me. Release all of your worries. Pay no mind to the things that keep you up at night. Tune out all of the demons. Their words mean nothing here. Breathe in and out and remember all the things that make you who you are. Breathe in and remember all the things that make you who you are. Remember how I held you, your embrace against mine. Heart to heart, just forget